Welcome to another voice acting tutorial. Today we're going to cover something really funny, I hope. We're going to do autonomes, Warforged, all kinds of robots, and we're going to try to mimic some like speech detect style sounds. So just getting straight into it, we're going to go through the 4 basic elements. We're going to go into the pitch of the voice, the speed of the voice / accent / talking style. We're going to go into the breathiness / constriction of it, and then right into the loudness of the voice. We're going to do a few of these voices, and I'm going to do a couple of variants of them right here. I am a autonome. I am a autonome.
I am a robot.
So these are all, they use the same basic 2 concepts, and those 2 concepts are short, brief words along with changing melodic tunes. So you're kind of singing as you talk, and you want to aim to hit different notes. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. He was only a gnome. It's almost like you're singing as you talk. And my favorite method to do this is to go low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. And then you can just kind of mix it up from there. But that low, it creates a really memorable, I am a autonome. So the first element of the voice is the pitch. To construct your robot as a variant of this voice, we're going to go straight into the pitch of it. For a big, like, huge Warforged, you might do something a bit lower. You know, down here, this is just the bass, something lower like that. And then you could go, or you could go something much higher. Maybe you have like a little autonome or some kind of little silly little robot, you know? Hello, pleased to meet you. Somewhere way up high. And you can do anywhere in that range for your pitch. The next part is the talking pattern. So we've got our
Low pitched, this is the base of our voice right here. And then we change how we speak. So we've got the speed of the voice, right? We've got our pitch first, then we change our speed. So rather than speaking like this, I'm going to break up my words like this. That changes dramatically how this voice sounds, doesn't it? It sounds a lot more distinct when I change my speaking pattern. That is really all I have changed. I can change the pitch with that same mentality. I am speaking up here, but I am changing the way I talk by changing just the speed at which I say words. I am saying words with long pauses in between, but short, abrupt words. So select a pitch you want your robot to sound low, medium, or way up high. Then select your speed. I think this kind of tone really conveys robot to me. And then to push it over the top and make that really nice, almost staticky sort of text-to-speech feeling, we're going to add a good amount of constriction to our voice. Now, I've had a lot of folks have a lot of trouble with constriction because it's a bit difficult to explain, but I'm going to do my best here. And the silliest way I have to explain this is picture a man just constipated on the toilet, just grunting. He's just, ah! You have that inner grunt, right? You want to mimic that feeling, that, ah! That inner grunt is you subconsciously constricting your voice. So if you try to make that sound for yourself, you're going to be constricting your voice. If you can get in the feel of that and you can start to do it by memory, you can then control your voice. So doing my gnome character right now, but if I constrict it like this, it sounds way different. Versus if I release and do the opposite of that. So I'm speaking more breathy. I am a autonome. Perhaps I remind you more of a text-to-speech assistant. Something more soft and subtle. I personally like to do my robotic characters with a bit more gravel, although I am playing a character that's way more soft, that's based more off of like Alexa or Echo or something like that. But you can still carry those same elements of the speed at which you talk, changing how you sound to sound more robotic and methodical. Then you've got your pitch low or high. In this last element, we want to isolate that constriction and add that constriction to it. Now, for constriction, I really like to
have it be kind of a little bit normal. And then when you hit the high note, that's when you add the constriction. So you can kind of hear it here. I'm going to hit the constriction when I hit the high note, but when I'm in the middle, it's going to be less. So my bass is ah, ah. That's my bass for the voice. I have a little bit of constriction in there, a little bit of nasally. You can hear it. Ah, I am a auto-gnome. I am a auto-gnome. That is what's creating that sound, which in context of the rest of the voice, it sounds almost like a broken speech to text. I am a auto-gnome. And that's the goal you're trying to hit there. So I just encourage you to run through your character and think about first, for if you're playing a Warforged or some kind of robot or auto-gnome, what pitch do you think suits your bot? Do you want something much lower? Like, I am a auto-gnome. I am a robot. And then we are going to do that speech pattern, which is just super simple, just abrupt words with long pauses in between. Abrupt words with long pauses in between. Then we're going to do our constriction or opposite of constriction. So again, the constriction, you constrict a lot when you hit the high note, and you keep it kind of normal on the low note or on the medium note. So bouncing up and down, we're starting on the bass. I am a auto-gnome. I am a auto-gnome. I am a robot. Adding that constriction. And then the loudness. We can do this. I personally kind of like to do these robots very decently loud, but there's an important distinction if you are a player or if you are a DM. Pay attention to this part, especially if you're a player. If you are playing a character and you're trying to come up with a voice for your character, think about doing something that won't be too hard to maintain. So the difference between a DM and a player is that as a DM, you get to change your character all the time. Whatever character you're speaking in, you get to bounce around between, all of a sudden I'm doing a goblin in a high pitch, and then I'm doing an orc in a low pitch, and then I'm doing a human, in a normal pitch. And I'm not spending all of my time doing this really obnoxious, time is money, friend. Could you imagine if I talked like this for like 4 hours straight? Oh gosh, my vocal cords would be absolutely screwed. You want to do a character that, if you're a player, that you can maintain for long periods of time. As a DM, you can step into those really loud, strenuous voices for short periods of time, and you can get away with it. But as a player, it's a bit more difficult. So for your robot, your loudness is important to think about. We're going to do an auto-gnome that's a bit less loud. I am a auto-gnome. Hi, I am a robot. Or my current character, I am Mark 1. Pleased to meet you. I am the brother of Mark 2. I am also the brother of Mark 3. I am also the brother of Mark 4. I am also the brother of Mark 5, up to Mark 9,841. I have 36 fathers and 16 mothers. That is the crew that was credited with creating me. Something like that. So that's something that I can maintain for 4 hours at a time. But the auto-gnome voice, as a player, I'm not going to be sitting there looking over, turn to my friend and go, I am a auto-gnome for 4 hours straight. So as you create your voice, I just encourage you to think about, what are you willing to do for 4 hours straight? Do something that doesn't make it difficult for you to RP, doesn't make it difficult for you to turn over and have that in-character conversation. Like, I'm not going to sit there probably playing this auto-gnome, turn over and have an in-depth conversation about my character's backstory. It's not going to create the best scene if I do that. But as a DM, it will absolutely make some memorable and funny encounters to have something like that. And I'm actually going to use this auto-gnome voice very soon in my current campaign. So all that being said, I hope you get some laughs at your table. I hope this gives you some more inspiration. And oh, one more final thing that I want to just sort of throw out there is to think about you could actually have a character that does singing as they talk as well. Something like, bring him gnome, he's a gnome, I'm a gnome, an auto gnome. Doing silly things like that can really add and layer on to your character as well. All in all, I hope this has been helpful, and thank you for listening, and don't be afraid to get silly.